Good morning. I'm Barry Carl. I'm the Chief Executive Officer of the Continence Foundation of Australia. Could I please ask you to take your seats? And we'll get the morning underway. I'd like to formally welcome you all to the launch this morning of the 2013 World Continence Week. And thank you for braving this cold winter morning here in Melbourne. Ladies and gentlemen, can I ask you to welcome Beth to the stage?
Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me nice and clearly at the back? Thank you. I'll begin by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land that we're meeting on today and pay my respects to their elders past and present. And I'd also like to acknowledge any Indigenous people who might be here with us today. And whenever I have the privilege of doing the traditional acknowledgement, it always reminds me to be mindful of and respectful to my own elders. So I'm very proud to say that I've got my 93-year-old mum here with me today. Give them a wave, Mum. She's doing quite magnificently. The other day I went to the Caltex store and I dropped $1. It rolled under the counter and I couldn't get it out. And there was a crowd building up and everyone's in a hurry as usual. So I said to the young woman, it doesn't matter, just leave it there, it's only $1. Next day I came back and the young man in the shop said, oh madam, here is your $1. And it was taped to a note. And I said, how did you know it was mine? Oh, she has left a note, madam. So the note said, please give this $1 back to the lady who comes in every day. She has coloured glasses, 2 white dogs, elderly lady. Mum's elderly. They were trying to be very nice, it kind of backfired a little bit though. I'm extremely proud to be patron of the CFA. I'm having a lot of fun with the acronym because of course Victorians all think it's the Country Fire Authority. I mentioned to Christine Nixon that she said, what are you doing in your semi-retirement, Beth? And I said, I've become the patron of the CFA. And she said, good on you, Beth, you shake them up, you get them into order. I said, yes, the Continence Foundation of Australia can use all the help and support that they can get. So I got one of those Christine Nixon looks. Have you seen those Christine Nixon looks in the media? I often stand in and do talks for Christine, or not often, occasionally, if she's not available. And I've got a really good Christine Nixon impersonation. Would you like to see it? Yeah. Christine hasn't seen that yet. I come to Continence like a lot of other people do, and that is with a personal story. I can remember about 10 years ago, I had a coughing fit at work, and I had one of those wobbly things, and I said, oh, bugger it, I'll fiddle my pants, I'm going home. And my personal assistant said, ooh, too much information. But after that little outburst, I actually went and did something about it, which is why I think the theme of this year's Continence Week, talking about it, is so important. That initial step of admitting that you've got a problem and that there's something you can do about it is really the most important one of all. So we do need to talk about continence, and as our subtitle goes, it is a problem in anyone's language. If it's difficult for people who are born to speak English, born in Australia, how much more difficult is it for people who do not have such a good command of English language skills? I was at a doctor's clinic the other day and I noticed there was a sign up for impotence. And I thought, well, we need to get doctors to put up signs for continence as well, because it's a lot easier for people to say, well, I've got that problem, rather than just coming out and saying it. And that's why I think the dripping tap advertisement that the Continence Foundation's got is just fabulous. It gets right to the point, it doesn't mess around. We need people to know that continence is not a normal or natural part of ageing, that it is a problem that we can help with. And of course, it's not confined just to people who are ageing. It can affect anyone, children, adolescents, young people as well. In fact, someone was telling me a very interesting story before we began about a lot of girls are doing a lot of exercise to build up their upper muscles because they're getting engaged now in much more vigorous sporting activities, but they're not necessarily paying as much attention to pelvic floor. So there seems to have been an increase in younger women who are experiencing continence problems. I've just recently been in a play called the Vagina Monologues. That was a lot of fun. We raised $25,000 for the Centre Against Sexual Assault. My diva moan was critically acclaimed in the Age newspaper. It was fantastic getting to do the moans. And we were all lawyers, and some of us were older, me, Moira Rayner, Judge Liz Gaynor, which I thought was amazingly plucky of a judge to get up there and star in the Vagina Monologues. But the young women who were producing and directing the play, they watched us very quizzically, and they asked us loads of questions about growing up feminist, what the world was like when we started off. And I said in answer to one question, when we started off, we were alone. And I was looking particularly at Moira. And I said, now we've got each other. So that's how it should be in the continence community as well. We need to talk about it. I've had 2 lots of surgery. Mine's extremely well managed now. If it wasn't, I probably wouldn't be up here talking to you about it. But I remember I was having a medical examination. They cover every bit of your body except the one bit you really don't want anyone to see. And they're all down there taking measurements, and I'm kind of up on this high chair. And I felt a bit alone, because they're all talking to each other down there and measuring. So, me being me, I said, you want to hear my motto? Oh, yeah, somebody said from down there. I said, 'tis my ambition to fart without pissing. And 3 happy faces looked up with a great big smile on them. So that's how I hope that Continence Week will span out for all of us. And thank you so much for coming here and supporting us today. Enjoy your breakfast and each other's company.